background noise.
Hi, I'm Bonita Sussman, and I'm Vice President of Kulanu. Kulanu is an organization that deals with returning, emerging, and isolated Jewish communities around the world. I have with me tonight a very special guest. His name is Remy Ilona, and he is one of the heads of the Jewish communities in Nigeria. Remy is internationally known for his blog in Times of Israel and the books that he has written on the Igbos of Nigeria. Welcome to Staten Island, Remy.
Thank you.
Please tell us something about the Jewish communities of Nigeria.
Essentially, first of all, let me say thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about the Igbo people and the Jews of Nigeria. When you talk about the Jews of Nigeria, you are talking about the Igbo people. The Igbo people are essentially based in the southeast and south-south parts of Nigeria in 16,000 square miles of territory.
That's a lot of territory.
For 40 to 50 million people,
Wow.
it's much better, not as much as the other groups in Nigeria possess. In fact, per population, we have very, very little land compared to the other Nigerian groups anyway. So, the Igbo people came from ancient Israel, but we have been in Nigeria for a very long time. We believe we have been in Nigeria for minimum of 1,000 years.
Wow.
Yeah, we formed a federation of clans. We didn't have kings like our neighbors in Nigeria had. All the clans were autonomous, presided over by our priests and our elders.
Oh, clans. You said clans.
Clans, yeah.
Yes. How many clans are there?
Thousands.
Thousands of clans.
Thousands.
Okay.
These clans started as families.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like my clan is called Ozobo.
Ozobo?
Ozobolo.
Ozobolo.
Yeah.
Okay.
It had four sub-clans. My family heads one of the clans and have headed it for one of the sub-clans and have headed it for at least 500 years.
Wow.
We provided what you would call the Dayanim of the sub-clan. The synagogue, the general synagogue of the sub-clan is based on our land. We accommodated the Levim that wanted to settle among us on our lands. So, we are the Jews of Nigeria.
Tell us what you practice. Tell us about your practice.
Of Judaism.
Of Judaism.
Okay, the Igbo practice now.
Yes.
It is what you would call biblical Judaism. We practice Judaism the way I would say that Moses and his generation and the Israelites after Moses practiced it until the rabbinic era set in. But from my own observation, what sets that what made that sort of Judaism different from the rabbinic Judaism is very, very little. You take a lot of things you base a lot of your practices on the books, but a lot of things you do in rabbinic Judaism, we also did them. Like, for example, you marry under chuppah in rabbinic Judaism, am I right?
Yes, you marry under chuppah. Yeah.
We did the same in what I choose to call biblical Judaism. You sit Shiva for 7 days.
Yes, we
also sit Shiva for 7 days.
Okay.
And the practices are similar to the extent that I don't know if modern Jews do some things I see in the Shulchan Aruch that's done by the Ibos.
Like what?
If a grave is being dug,
yes,
the person digging the grave, the person that is digging at a particular moment, if he gets tired, he would not hand over the shovel to somebody.
He will not handle the shovel to somebody?
Yeah.
Okay.
He will he will stick it into the, in the Igbo case, he will stick it in the ground. The next person will jump in and start digging.
Well, that's what they do in Jewish funerals in New York.
Okay, I didn't know that you would have continued with that practice.
Yeah.
And then we face the mirrors. We make the mirrors to face the wall.
Oh, we cover mirrors too. We cover them usually with a towel or a sheet.
Okay, and we have a morning. We set up a morning tent.
A morning tent.
Yeah,
Where just people go to pay shiva and sit for the 7 days.
that is instead of morning in the normal house, a morning tent is set up.
Oh, modern tent is set up.
Yeah, this is an example of one when we start shiva for my mother.
Do you remember these practices growing up?
We saw them as Igbo practices until I researched and saw that they had Jewish equivalents.
Oh, okay.
We knew that it's omenana. Omenana is the word for the Igbo culture. Omenana
Amenana.
is the phrase because it's actually a phrase. It means it is omenana. It was when I began the research that I discovered really what it means. Because if you translate it into English, what it means is commandments that must be observed or kept on the land.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but we knew that these things were Igbo practices, but we didn't know that they were Jewish practices because we knew, as at my own era, that we were Ibos or Hebrews. We didn't know we were Jews.
I know that you've been posting on Facebook some linguistic things that compare Hebrew to the Igbo language. You want to mention a few things?
Okay, linguistic connections.
Linguistic connections, yes. I know recently I saw some on your Facebook page.
Yeah, they come up all the time. Let me think of one that we discussed in class. Give me a minute. It's rather, it's that there are so many examples like words that have still very close meanings and okay, let's be dealing with this one while I remember the one that came up in class. I think generally it's acknowledged that Ari is the Hebrew word for lion.
Yes.
Yeah, but there's also an older Hebrew word, go, or gu.
Gu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like in Ben Gurion.
Ben Gurion. Yeah. Okay.
The Igbo word for lion, as at my time, is ago.
Ago?
A-G-U.
AGU. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then light. I guess the Hebrew word for light is or.
Or.
Or
It's
ur
like-
or ur. U-R.
You are.
There's an Igbo light called Urim.
Urim, which means lights.
Okay.
Another name for Hanukkah is Chag Urim. Chag HaUrim. We say Chag Urim Sameach, happy lights.
Okay. Yeah, some people began to study the two.
The language similarities.
One lady in the University of Ibadan compared both languages as a master's thesis, and it took me some time to get what her findings meant analyzed. The professors that assessed her work said that both languages are genetically related, not generically, genetically related. We've tried to get the thesis, but it comes from the girl comes from one of the tribes that competes with the Ibos.
Okay.
So they've not made the thesis available to us. By the university rules is that it's available to people in the department, not to outsiders. But some American Jews have also started to do the comparison.
Of the language.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to change the subject a little bit. Tell us, which is your most read Times of Israel blog? I know there was one that got a lot of hits.
You may be referring to the article that was written about me and the community.
Oh, was it in
By-
Times
in
of
the Jewish
Israel?
for- in the
the
Jewish
Jewish Forwards.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I know about that one. But I know also that people read your blog, right?
Yes. Okay, probably the one I wrote about, which I titled Time Among Jews. I wrote about a speech given in the Jewish Museum, Miami, Florida, by Professor Tudor Parfit. And after which somebody asked, but these emerging communities, what do they do? that makes the Jewish community to know that they are related to us, and I took the microphone and talked about Igbo practices. Probably that's the one that got a lot of attention more than the other ones that I've written.
You want to talk about your book?
Okay, yeah.
Here, I'm going to hold it up so everybody can see. Okay.
Yeah. So, as I was saying,
the book is called The Igbos and Israel, an intercultural study of the largest Jewish diaspora by Remy Ilona. The way you get it, how do you get this book?
it came out after up to 12 years of research.
Yeah, go on.
It came out after, say, 12 years of research. Kulanu and Dr. Zella helped to raise the funds and got Professor Carolivia Heron to publish it. Yeah.
People can buy it online on Amazon.
Yeah, people can buy it online on Amazon, and people will discover that they are. A lot of people say it amplifies the Bible for them, because a lot of things I don't know a lot of things you do in Rabbinic Judaism, because we have not had the opportunities of having rabbis officiate at things like our marriages. So we lead ourselves and we follow what we see in the Bible.
Okay. I have a question to ask you. Tell us how Kulanu has helped you and your community.
Kulanu has sent thousands of books, put us on the map of the Jewish map, so that when Jews visit Nigeria, they simply look for the Igbo people. And
you have how many synagogues? You have a lot of synagogues there.
74.
74 synagogues. Wow. And what kind of service, what kind of prayer book do they use?
Generally, they prefer the Art Scroll.
They use our scroll?
The people in Nigeria prefer the Art Scroll.
Yes.
Yeah, our compatriots in Nigeria prefer the Art Scroll because the belief is that it's very traditional, and the Igbo is inclined to
go for traditional practice.
Yeah, very, very traditional.
So, of the 74 synagogues, how many people are involved?
I was going home very, very often prior to 2009 when I got ill. So I get my reports from people that go home often. The reports they give me now is that about 5,000 people have reverted fully to rabbinic.
About 5,000 people have converted to have reverted to rabbinic fully, and the rest, you have others that didn't fully revert, but they're part of the community.
You know, because like every question you ask about the Igbo you wouldn't get an answer that is just yes or no. I think I've explained this several times since I came. The entire Igbo people say that they are Jewish, and they live like crypto-Jews.
Oh, that's interesting.
And Igbo, apart from these 5,000 that have reverted to Judaism, and the, say 1 million that never became Christians, the rest of the Igbos live like crypto-Jews. An Igbo Catholic doesn't believe that he is married, even though he has held a church wedding. He also has to have the Igbo marriage.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, when talking about the Ibos, you also have to bring that up, because the Ibos believe that I'm representing all of them. I'm talking about all of them. So if I don't mention this, I wouldn't have told the story of the Ibos as it is. Then you also have the Sabbatarians.
The who?
Sabbatarians.
Sabbatarians?
Yeah.
What are they? Who are they?
Okay. You know, the Brit. He said, you will have to give me like 5 minutes to get this organized. The British imposed their religion on the Ibos. Funnily, they didn't impose it on the other Nigerians, but they imposed it on the Ibos. But after independence of Nigeria, a lot of groups in Nigeria began to think of ways of going back to what they thought were their own religions. Remember, if you take a 6-year-old and put that 6-year-old in a religion, that 6-year-old grows up thinking that that's religion exists.
Right.
And the Igbos that we are taking away from our religion, we are 7-year-olds. But after like 100 years, everybody began to realize that what we are practicing is not ours. So people began to think of going back to their own. One very, very influential group in Nigeria called the Yoruba.
The Yoruba.
Yeah, they have what you call as the representation of their religion in America is Santeria.
Santeria.
Yeah.
Okay.
Santeria. Yeah, the Ibos, the Igbo religion could not cross over to the US. Of course, it's funny why it couldn't cross over. The Igbo slaves that came to the Americas,
Yes.
unlike the Yorubas, we are unable to bring the Igbo religion because, Judaism doesn't, as a religion that doesn't proselytize,
Right.
is very, very exclusivist, has little chances of growing, tends to die. So when the Igbos came here, let's say it died off. But in Nigeria, when the Igbos thought about going back to what they thought was their own religion, while the Yorubas came up with regular Christianity, the only difference was that a lot of dancing and music was introduced. The Igbos came up with a new religion called Sabbath, observed on the 7th day, held very strongly to the Torah, much more rigidly than any stream of Judaism, because in their own case, the lights will not be turned on from 6 in the evening of Friday, just following the Old Testament literally. They
Okay.
call the religion Sabbath. The only difference between them and the Rabbinic Igbo Jews is that the Rabbinic Igbo Jews don't go near to the New Testament. But these ones also go there.
Okay, I have another question. We're getting near Purim and Passover. Do you have any different kinds of customs that might interest people that we don't do?
As Ibos, we still do the first fruit offerings, but I didn't know that you people do it in Shavuot,
Okay, so what do you do with the first fruits?
the New Yam Festival. The New Yam Festival, traditionally,
Yes.
you get your new yams, offer them to God.
Yams?
Mm.
Yams, but sweet potatoes.
Yams are different.
Yams are a kind of potato?
They are similar but different.
Not okay, fine.
Yeah. You offer them to God.
And in what kind of ceremony?
Traditionally the elders bring the new yams, pray to God, give him the first before. No Igbo eats before until the portion that is given to God is given to God. And the way it happens is that the priests and the elders roast it, thank God and explain that the people have brought their God's share. Then the people eat the yams. Then everybody is free to eat yam in his house.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And is there any? So that's done around Shavuot, or that's done?
Yeah, around
It's,
Shabbat.
it's done around Shavuot.
I thought you had I didn't know that Western Jews still do it until I learned recently that's Shavuot.
Oh, on Shavuot. Okay. And do you have any? You do Purim also? You know what I want? I want to hear if you do Purim, and I would like to close. Do you have any new melody or song that you sing in your services that you would like to share?
I'm not very, very strong in singing, but I might. Since you are thinking about closing off,
Yes.
we can. I hope my voice will not be so bad. The Igbo version of the Hard Gadia.
Okay, let's hear the Hebrew version of the Haggadah.
Yeah. So it's a little bit long.
Well, just sing a couple of stanzas. We don't need the whole
Okay.
thing, just so we get the flavor.
Okay, 1 second, please. An Igbo rhyme that is also a Jewish rhyme, Hard Gadia, translated from Igbo by the author. Igbo version. What happened to the tortoise? What happened to the tortoise? The tortoise, the tortoise. A breadfruit fell on the tortoise. The tortoise, the tortoise. What happened to the breadfruit? The tortoise, the tortoise. A stake pierced the breadfruit. The tortoise, the tortoise. What happened to the steak? The tortoise, the hamite ate up the steak.
Oh my gosh.
So you can even see the similarity with Hebrew poetry there.
Yeah.
The repetition.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
In the early part of the 19th century, a Welsh Professor Parfit Skinsman, a Welsh, said he noticed some unique similarities between Igbo language and Hebrew idiom. He pointed out this, what I just observed now.
Yeah.
We won't call it repetition exactly.
But it's very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to hear a song. You have a song? What do you sing on Shabbat? Is there a Shabbat melody? Do you sing a new Shabbat melody to Lecha Dodi or some? Because I know in the video that was made about your community, what is it called?
Reimagined Jews of Nigeria.
Right, Re-Emerging Jews of Nigeria by Jeff Lieberman, right. Okay, it's a wonderful documentary about the community in Nigeria, and I know they sing in it. So I'd like to hear something some little piece that might interest people that's different.
Oh, say shalom. Oh, say shalom. Oh, say shalom. I'm really not.
It's terrific. Okay, go on.
I'm really not in the singing department.
Okay.
Yeah,
oh well, you're doing great.
Yeah. I wasn't one of. When I was in Nigeria, I was not one of those that were strong in singing.
That's okay, but you know a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that sounded good.
Okay.
I won't put you more to make you sing more. Okay, thank you so much, and I know you're at Florida International University. I heard you're doing really well there, and everybody thinks you're fantastic, like we do in Kulanu, and we're very happy to have you in New York City now, and hope you have a safe flight back to Florida, and you continue your studies. I know the master's degree will be coming at the end of next June, I imagine. Right?
Yeah.
This is March 18th, 2016, and thank you.
Thank you.